Chief Executive Officer, if you feel so strongly about what you're saying, why will you implement a decision that you think flies against the Constitution? Why don't you just appeal and apply for a stay?
Nataka kuongezea swali. Yes. Swali langu linaoana na la Sam kidogo, kwa hivyo acha nilirushe pamoja kwa afisa mkuu. Hamuoni kama iwapo saizi mnasema hamtakata rufaa kwa sababu ya muda haupo, hamuoni kama mtakuwa mumeanzisha jambo ambalo pengine miaka 5 ijayo tupate swala kama hili, alafu tume itakayokuwa itake kukata rufaa na ilhali saizi hamjakata rufaa kwa kusema tu kwa sababu ni muda hamna? Hamuoni kama mtakuwa mmeweka jambo ambalo miaka 5 ijayo mtu atajitokeza aseme mbona miaka 5 iliyopita hamkufanya hivyo?
Kwangu mimi naona kwanza ni kwa sababu ya kuwa hii kesi bado inasikilizwa katika Supreme Court. I think tumeelezewa na chairman ya kuwa kesho itasikizwa, alafu pengine Ijumaa labda kutakuwa na determination. Kwa hivyo ni mzuri kungojea tusikize mwanzo ni nini kitatokea. Alafu baada ya hapo ndio tutaweza kuamua kama sasa tutakata rufaa ama ni vipi. Lakini kwa sasa ni muhimu mwanzo tusikize nini itafanyika katika Supreme Court. I think hapo kwetu ni muhimu sana.
Okay. All right. Chief Executive, it's important that you are circumspecting around the nitty-gritty details of the court matter. But the case of the ex-Nairobi County Governor Mike Mbuvi Sonko and the case of Karungu Athanga was based chiefly on integrity, which is a key ingredient and a component of our constitution. Now, because of time constraints, the chairman and the commission say we have to move on. But in future, your 10 years expiring, you'll be leaving office. Isn't this not, while you're hell-bent now on the implementation of that very important aspect of the law, going forward, a bad precedent set that you have given up and in not exhausting the appeal process, in wanting to completely lock these candidates out because you believe that in a democracy, they don't deserve to be on the ballot because of gross violation of the law?
No, let me say like this, first of all. I think maybe there's misunderstanding here. We are saying that as a commission, we have not made a decision as to whether we are going to appeal or not. But for us, what is important is for us to wait for the Supreme Court to actually assert themselves in that case. Because this case is still, the reason why Mombasa Court has taken that decision is because there is a case actually in Supreme Court. There's an appeal. And there for them they are to take that decision. And what Chairman has explained is that there is difference in interpretation of two sections of the law, whereas we see one as standalone. The others are seeing them as actually being twin. They are joined in the hip. So if there is a case that is outstanding, I think the best thing to do, we only have 2 days. So the best thing is just to wait.
Okay.
And for example, if the case is going to be favorable, we don't know what is going to happen in Mombasa. Suppose they uphold the earlier decision that, yes, he was actually impeached properly. What is going to happen? So it's important for us to wait and not to jump the gun.
Thank you.
So even now you will not receive his papers?
Yes?
Even right now that the courts have agreed to this, have ordered so, Sonko's papers will not be received until that decision by the Supreme Court is given.
Well, now, you see, that is the decision of the returning officer. You see, even the chairman cannot actually tell the returning officer what they need to do.
But the returning officer does not work in isolation. He's part of the commission. He's an employee.
Yes, we provide advice, but ultimately he or she takes the decision.
You mean you're not in touch with the returning officer?
No, we do. But ultimately, the decision is going to be that of the returning officer.
Okay.
Really, that doesn't sound right, that a returning officer in Mombasa would make a unilateral decision to the exclusion of the IBC, the secretariat right here.
Maybe,
that's what it sounds like.
Let me just add to that.
Yes.
The judgment was delivered today.
Yes.
Our legal team will look at it and advise the returning officer on
what to do.
What to do.
But now even sitting here,
yes,
the two of you are speaking at cross purposes. The chairman said, with 26 days left to the election, he was very explicit, we have to print the ballot papers. So to him, he had given the basis of our questions tonight, all of us, based on what the chairman said. To you, we should wait for the judgment. Even right now here, you're divided in that opinion. What happens? Do we wait for the court or we do what the chairman says, which is we have 26 days, we have to do this, you know? So litigation has to end at some point. That's what we get tonight.
No, we're actually very clear. We are not divided, by the way. I think that is your perception. But we are very clear in terms of when should the ballot paper printing end. Remember, we had suspended printing of ballot paper for Mombasa governor. We had. Why? Because we are waiting for the court to determine the case. Yes.
So,
and it was.
So you have now lifted the suspension?
Yeah. Because
no, we actually stopped printing papers for
Mombasa.
Yes, and not just Mombasa. There was another case also whereby we had been stopped by the court to print the ballot papers.
Okay.
We had suspended printing of ballot papers in those areas because of the court.
Chairman, tell me something. Is it possible, for example, not to hold an election in one area and wait for perhaps after the general election because of these court cases? Is that a possibility that the law affords you? And if it affords you, would that be something that you'd want to do? Because there's a divide over this. Is it a possibility?
Yes, I think the law provides that in certain cases where the commission finds itself in an impossible situation to run an election in a particular unit, it can respond that election. But we, of course, we are not hoping to do that in any of the elective units in the country.
CEO.
All right.